Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Let's Chat. And today we have Phillipa Linder joining us. Phillipa, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
All good, thanks. So I've taken a little section out of your bio. You say that you are a mom, a certified health and lifestyle coach, qualified chef, and keen gardener. And you studied at the Mills Culinary Academy and graduated in 2014. I also know that you run a business called Flourish. So do you want to maybe start by telling us how you got into plant-based diets and how you got to running Flourish, which is a plant-based diet business? Maybe just share that with us. Share your journey with us on how you actually got there.
Okay. I started with the plant-based eating a couple of years ago after I had my first child, and I was vegetarian, and just because I just felt better eating that way. And then I just decided, might as well try being vegan. So I tried that for a long time, and then it slowly transitioned to the plant-based eating,
Okay.
which gives you a little bit more leeway. It's more of the fact, like, I don't really like putting a label on it. So like when you say you're vegan, people, like, you'll eat a biscuit and people will be like, "Oh my word, you're not vegan!" Like, just because you ate a biscuit. So and I'll say plant-based, but I don't eat meat, fish, anything that comes from an animal, actually, unless
Okay.
it's in like something like a biscuit or a rusk. I think that's, yeah, actually, and I'm not going to freak out if I eat something by mistake.
Yes.
But yeah, I haven't eaten like uh, meat or anything like that and milk and dairy and cheese for like, I think it's 5 years
Okay.
now. Yeah, so that was from when I had Riley. I just felt like I wasn't recovering after the birth, and I just read up a lot about vegan or plant-based eating and how it can help you help your body recover faster, and you would be able to maintain your weight better, and um, just a general overall um, healthy mindset, as well as body and stuff. I was quite a keen runner at the time, and I
Okay.
found that my recovery was much quicker um, following a plant-based diet. Even though I wasn't training like you would think someone would need to train for the times that I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I went for a walk with a friend the one day, Robin, her name's Robin, and we were walking on the beach, and we just decided, hey, we should start. There's a gap in the market, yeah, for some plant-based eating products and daily products,
Okay.
so we should try something. And we ended up choosing cheese, plant-based cheese. So we
Okay,
started
cool.
experimenting with recipes, and then came up, I think, with 5 or 6 recipes and a butter. And we started with those, and that's how Flourish was born. And Flourish then also started to do cakes and bakes, and we did markets, and we did vegan food or plant-based food. Um, and yeah, it's just kind of escalated from there into what it is now. Yeah, we don't, when we cook and when we do make food, our food is vegan. We don't use
Okay.
anything that's from animals. Um, but I still say I'm a plant-based eater, not a vegan.
Okay, so it's actually a good point that. So do you want to maybe explain, because I know that there's so much confusion around plant-based, vegan,
Mm,
it gets very confusing and stuff, and that vegan title does have a bit of a stigma to it. That, typically
mm.
you're some weird person when you're a vegan and stuff. But the
Yeah.
plant-based, so I started with the plant-based in December. Do you want to maybe explain what the difference is? Because
Okay.
not everybody actually understands the difference.
Yeah, it's a common question. As well as what is vegan. That's also, although it's become a bit more known now. But
Yes.
a vegan, I would say, very strict about everything in your life has to be vegan. So from the clothes you wear, to the toothpaste you use, to the sugar you use, to like, it's not just food. It involves everything in your life. You will not use something if it has abused or killed animals in any way, and that includes like fish, cows, any animal, anything that breathes, you won't use. Whereas plant-based eating has a little bit more room for including that, including animal products, should you choose to do that. But it's still very focused on a whole foods, plant-based diet. So you're going to be eating vegetables, fruits, grains, and as whole as you can. You want to stay away from processed vegan or plant-based foods. You don't really want to include things like that in your diet, although they're nice.
Yes.
Yeah. You do get some plant-based products that have egg in or milk in. It's considered plant-based, but not vegan. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, it's still so basically the vegan side of things, because your signal was a bit, you just broke up a little bit on the video side and that, but you're saying that the vegan side is fully no animal products whatsoever, and then
Yeah.
basically plant-based. Obviously, you can still have products with meat and stuff like that, but I think it's just the focus is more on, it's predominantly vegetables. I know a lot of the
Yeah.
plant-based guys will only eat plant-based food, where
Yeah.
some, like myself, I still enjoy my meat. I just don't eat it every single day now. I have meat every 3, 4 days,
Yeah.
one meal.
Yeah.
Is that's pretty much sums it
So
up, I
you
think,
could
right?
consider, yeah, you can still consider yourself plant-based because majority of your meals are coming from plants,
Yes.
whereas vegan, you will not include any meat or animal products whatsoever.
So for instance, what I've done is like on my smoothies, I've swapped it out. I don't put milk in it. I put almond milk, which
Yeah.
would obviously be
Yeah.
plant-based. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And tell me, with plant-based and that, obviously we focused on mindset, and I know, but I want you to share, but I know the difference it's made for me as far as concentration, mindset, and that. What benefits are there for eating besides the what do you call it? I'm trying to find the word now. The social responsibility of the meat side. What else is the benefit from a mindset perspective for eating plant-based compared to eating meat every day?
From a mindset perspective, actually, if you're focusing specifically on the brain, I watched something over the weekend that reminded me of how important carbs are for your brain. And a lot
Okay.
of people who eat meat avoid carbs because of the stigma that carbs are fattening and
Weight
but
gain, yeah.
yes, and weight gain. But your weight gain more comes from your animal products. Not necessarily your carbs. It depends, in saying that though, it depends what carbs you're eating. When I say carbs, I mean carbs from vegetables like
Yes.
broccoli and sweet potato and those sort of things, not pasta and bread and processed carbs. So you want to stick to whole carbs, not processed carbs. And why I say carbs for the brain is because the brain needs glucose to function. So you get that from carbs, and when you're getting it from plant-based carbs, it's a slow release, and it's sustainable, and it keeps your sugars at a good level, as well as when you're eating plant-based carbs, you also get a release of fiber as well, and all those things contribute to the working of your brain and your body and how your body functions and how it releases sugar, and there again,
Okay.
it will determine how your brain is going to function that day. And I think if you want to get away from things like brain fog and not feeling mentally
But
clear
brain
and
brain brain fog. Explain that to us. Some people may not understand what brain fog is.
So brain fog's like when you constantly feel like you're in this like haze, that you can't focus, you can't concentrate, you have difficulty doing simple math, you have difficulty remembering things, things like that. That's part of brain fog. And I found I was heavily had a big problem with brain fog before I went vegan or plant-based. And since being plant-based, even though like I can push my body really hard, especially in the food industry, your hours in that are quite crazy, as well as having 2 kids. I find I can push my body quite hard being on a plant-based diet and still be able to function with a good and be clear in what I want to do and how I want to do it. And does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does. Yeah, so I just wanted, I just wanted you to explain it, because not everybody understands it. In Afrikaans, we've got a word for it. Is jy's de mekaar. It's like you
basically
like
that's brain fog.
yeah, almost confused and whatever.
Other things also contribute to that, like lack of sleep. So yeah, I don't know what more I can say on that topic. I'm just thinking about it as I'm talking to you. But it can be.
I want to, but leading on to that, okay. You mentioned a very important thing there now is your energy and stuff like that, because that's another thing I think where a lot of people get confused is they think carbs, and they think carbs like as in a plate of chips covered in oil, and that's just
or
carbs.
pasta. People typically think pasta.
So there's a. Do you want to? So you mentioned something that we obviously need carbs because that's the energy side, and I must say. I cut out a few other things in that, so I would have naturally had more energy. But 100% eating plant-based because it's lighter food. When you're eating heavy, you tend to, like in Afrikaans again, maag is vol, oog is toe. It's that kind of thing. Now, with eating a lighter meal, naturally, you're getting the same. From what I understand, the same sort of the nutrients and everything like that, but it's just a much lighter meal. Explain to us also then a little bit about the energy side. So when you say plant-based energy, because that obviously helps performance as well. So maybe just explain a little bit more the difference between the carbs and the energy in that.
So the energy, the best way I thought of to explain this was we have a really long digestive tract. So whereas carnivores have a really short digestive tract, like more than half our size. So when we're eating animal products, for instance, or meat.
Phil, sorry, I'm gonna have to just stop you there quickly. We've lost your video, eh? So I don't know if maybe you want to just move a little bit, yeah.
Let's see if that helped. Let's quickly move the stand.
Cool.
Here we go.
Okay, cool. That's better. Your video is back. Sorry. Okay, cool. You were saying?
Okay. So, digestive tract. Our digestive tract is really long. So if you think how it typically takes us quite a long time to digest animal products or meat, I think it's something like 72 hours or something that one meal takes to go through your digestive tract. So your body puts a lot of effort into digesting that food.
Okay.
So it doesn't let energy go anywhere else where you need it. It puts it all into digesting. And if you're under a fight or flight mode, it doesn't digest and that food sits there. And while you're in that fight or flight mode, like if you're stressed or something's happening at work, your food doesn't get digested. So you feel even heavier. So you have even less energy.
Okay, cool.
And when you eat bioavailable for your body, and your body is that it takes much for that food to go through your digestive tract than what meat does.
Phil, sorry, we've lost your signal there completely again, eh?
Levels from your plant-based eating.
Phil?
Okay, hold on. Yo.
Yeah, we lost you there for like 10 seconds or something. It's the video and the thing, so I don't know if it's just your
Must
it
be
could
the
just be
signal,
dipping.
yeah.
Yeah, it could just be dipping.
Should I move quick?
there it's back again, so
Fine.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay, sorry. So where did it dip off?
Where the food are you testing to see if I've listened?
Yeah.
Where you're saying where it's heavy and stuff with the fight and flight mode.
Yeah.
Then we see the food sitting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So your body puts so much effort into things that it just can't function properly. So
Okay.
trying to digest all this meat and stuff, it generally just sits there for even longer than what it should be. Then you get things like constipation and IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and things like that start happening, which obviously will lead to even worse problems if it's not checked. Whereas with the plant-based foods, your body is equipped to digest it much faster, and it's much easier for your body to digest it, as well as take the nutrients from those foods. So yeah, then your energy levels are obviously much higher because your body is able to do what it needs to do and take the nutrients from the foods that you're eating.
Okay, cool. It actually reminds me of a good, and I might just put the link down below, but of a good documentary is because a lot of what you're mentioning now is in that documentary. Also, I don't know if you watched it with on Netflix, the Game Changers, it's called, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say to you at the end, it's a highly recommended if you want to know what's going on with plant-based eating. That's a really good one.
Yeah, because a lot of what you've explained now, where they take the sports guys and, there's this misconception that if I eat a piece of steak like this, I'm going to have serious protein and I'm going to be a machine. And I actually, I can't remember the dude's name now, but the one guy's name, he's like, they call him the Ox, and they say
I don't remember the name, but I know who you're talking about. That's the weightlifter.
Yeah, he's as strong as an ox, and they ask him, how do you, why are you as strong as an ox when you don't eat meat? And his answer to that is, well, have you ever seen an ox eat meat?
Yes.
And it pretty much it sums it up in one sentence.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So again, one thing I think a lot of business people and sports people, especially in the sports side, but in business also, people are always looking for, if you're running your own business, you need energy. If you're going to run a business and by 10 o'clock in the morning you're burnt out and you can't even keep your eyes open, these kind of things, mindset obviously becomes important.
Yeah.
But what do you say is more, not more important, but do you agree that there's like a mindset that comes first, then the eating? Because everybody can download a eating plan, but nobody. So explain that a little bit to us, where you typically start.
You definitely have to decide. Everyone always thinks it's like an overnight change. It's definitely not. It's small, simple changes over a prolonged period of time, and the best way I find to go over to plant-based eating is it's called crowding out. So you want to crowd out what is maybe not as good for your body to have, and include your plant-based options. So instead of, I'm going to put it like this, instead of having a coffee in the morning when you, like first thing when you wake up, you would rather replace that with a water. But now the thing with crowding out is you're not saying to your mind, I'm on a diet, I'm not allowed to have this. Like, you are allowed to have coffee, but you're going to choose whether you're going to have the coffee or the water. And it just changes your your outlook of the plant-based diet, or even just healthier eating in general. Yeah, I find the minute you say I'm on a diet, you like, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that, and it already puts like this heavy weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, well, there's a negative anchor or connotation with the diet, so that's
Yes.
why I think a lot of guys now use the word eating plan and whatever. But
Yeah. Even eating plan, like you can have this whole plan and you can still be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start next week. Like, the key is to make small, simple changes every day. So, for instance, having a glass of water before coffee, like I said, try that and see how you feel. And eventually, like me, I don't even want coffee anymore in the morning. I'll rather have like 4 glasses of water, followed by like a
yeah,
green
I'm
tea.
not there yet, eh?
I still love things like a matcha latte or things like that, but those are
Okay.
more treats now. Like, which I suppose coffee could also be looked at as a treat, and then you could even afford to get like higher quality coffee, which will be even better, instead of having like 3 cups of coffee before you started your day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned something now with the recovery, which is quite important, and that explain that, like for sports people, that would be quite important. I know they touch on it in the Netflix documentary as well.
Yeah.
So explain that, or explain that when you say recovery there.
Your recovery is generally much quicker on a plant-based diet because of the greens that you include in your diet. It's really good at cell repair and really good antioxidant. So that's why people tend to include more of that in the diet. They say you should eat as much greens as you can. And this you can include in really simple ways like smoothies. But yeah, recovery.
Share that with me. A smoothie with greens. How does that work?
So I like to make a spinach smoothie, and then I've already had like 2 cups of spinach for the day. Although when you think about spinach, when you cook it, it like goes to like nothing. But yeah, so I would put 2 cups of spinach and some banana, some mango, some spirulina, hemp seeds, and some pea protein. And then you can mix that either with water or your plant-based milk. And then I blend that. And then I already know I've had like a substantial amount of greens for the day. And it does help with cognitive function early in the morning. I'm not sitting with this like heavy meal that I've had. I'm light. I can do what I need to do, and I can sip on that smoothie and have sustained energy and over like quite a long period of the morning. But I do still make like a snack or a smaller meal for like 10 or 11 o'clock. I normally have like overnight oats or something like that, just to bring energy levels up and sugar levels as well, just so you don't get to lunchtime and you can eat like an entire apple tree or something. I was going to say cow, but that wouldn't really be.
That's not going to work. Tell me, so another question I got is, what foods are typically better for concentration, which is basically mindset in that too, because to think correctly, you need to also be able to concentrate. So the concentration side thing is quite important, obviously with like I see with Bailey and stuff like that. Is you don't want to be giving them Fruit Loops for breakfast because by 9 o'clock they down.
That's that quick like sugar spike that they get.
So what foods are directly sort of linked, or just a few foods that you can say that are linked to for good concentration or whatever?
Okay, so dates are an excellent brain food,
Really?
as well as
Dates.
Dates are like one of your biggest brain foods. Walnuts, and you can also include dates really easily in a smoothie or on your breakfast in the morning, like whether you're having granola or oats or whatever. You can put dates on, like chopped up, and that can also be a sugar alternative because they're so sweet. And then avocado is a big one
Yeah,
for all the healthy
always
fats.
comes up. Yeah.
Yeah. Flax and chia seeds are another big one for the omegas. Dark
Cool.
chocolate, but when I say dark chocolate, I mean like 70% and up, like
Yeah. So
dark chocolate.
yeah. So I give Bailey's, for instance. I give or I'd use it in my smoothie because I hate dark chocolate. Like it's
Yeah.
not even fun.
Yeah, it's not the
Uh,
greatest.
yeah. So I buy I think it's 90% the Lindt one.
Yeah.
But then I just put in the smoothie so it gets chopped up or whatever. Because
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
But I can get in. Yeah.
you could create like a cookie and cream sort of shake with that for your mornings if you get creative with it. And then broccoli and greens, that I'm going to say again, that probably comes up with in every single topic, from energy to recovery to brain. Like your greens are your biggest thing in the plant-based diet, for me at least.
Explain to us greens, because not everybody might understand when you say greens, what is greens?
So
Obviously,
all
you
your
said
green vegetables, like
literally green in
broccoli.
color.
Yes, green color. If it's green, it's good.
Okay.
Broccoli, celery, spring onions, lettuce, all your leafy greens like kale and rocket and all things like that. They have great antioxidant properties, and again, assist really, really well with cell repair and things like that. Yeah, and then your other brain foods, I'm just thinking now, blueberries or any sort of berry, but especially blueberries, very high in antioxidants.
I was going to ask, are they all the same, or is blueberries better out of the lot?
Blueberries have been known to be better out of the lot, but then again, you have to be careful of what blueberries, because berries are quite highly pesticide ranked crop. So lots of pesticides on berries. So you really got to wash those berries before you use them. You could even.
And a technical question there: if they come frozen?
Frozen, it's still gonna be like got pesticides on. So you want to aim for organic, but we all know in South Africa that's very hard to find.
Yes.
I mean, Woolies occasionally has those little ones. But if you can get hold of a farmer that's got organic berries, that's great, and he can freeze them for you. I know there is a few around PE, or one close to PE that's got organic. But otherwise, what you can do is rinse them in the sink or leave them overnight with some bicarb in the water, and then pop them into your fridge or freezer. I don't wash my frozen berries. I use them as is. But yeah, so you'll have to navigate around that one for yourself, depending on how you feel on pesticides. And chickpeas are a really good one because they're high in magnesium, and they what they do is they actually relax your blood vessels, so it promotes more blood to your brain. Believe it or not. So people that are addicted to hummus, there's a reason why you're addicted to hummus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your brain's like, woo, give us that one. And then your nuts and seeds. That's yeah, generally a good brain food.
All right, cool. So I always ask the question about, I'm quite, I'm interested, or I always like to see morning sort of rituals or habits and stuff like that. So from a plant-based perspective, what would be maybe 3 or 4 of the best foods to eat for breakfast specifically?
You want to aim for something with fruit. You can either do like a mono meal, or do a fruit salad, or a smoothie. People with like stomach issues generally do better with a mono meal, which means one type of fruit. So for instance, lots of mango, and you don't mix it with other things. It just is really easy for your body to digest, and it just starts the day off on a good note. And then
smoothies. When you said smoothies, what would be a good smoothie? Just give us an easy one or whatever.
My ultimate is that green one. If you can do a green smoothie in the morning, you're already on your way to a healthier diet. But you can also change it.
what goes into a green smoothie again?
The banana, so
Banana.
banana, some mango, some pineapple, some baby spinach, and then I like to add spirulina, hemp seeds, and pea protein, about a tablespoon of each, or
Okay.
and then some water, and then I just blend that all together. And depending on how thick or runny you like it, you can decide how much water or plant-based milk to add.
Okay, cool.
And then something like oats is also really good for sustained energy. Granola is also another one, but try to just check the sugar on those. You want to try
Yes.
get one with little or no sugar added. Um, what else do I do? I also have done, if I want something cooked, I do chopped up potato, tomato, you can do sweet potato or regular potato,
Okay.
onion and mushrooms and garlic and some basil. And I put that all in a frying pan and I fry that up. And then till it's like nice and soft, and I put that on like a whole grain bread or something like that if I'm feeling a little bit fancy. So that happens on the weekends.
I was gonna
And
say, is that
then
for breakfast still?
that is breakfast, but
Okay.
strictly
Interesting.
weekends.
Okay.
And you can put some rockets in there for some nice bite. And then I also put a little bit of balsamic on there. It's nice flavor.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Pancakes are
Okay.
also a good, easy one.
Pancakes.
Yeah, if you make gluten-free banana pancakes, that's like banana oats, some baking powder, water, vanilla, and you just blend that and fry those. They're quite quick and easy to make.
Awesome.
Mm.
Cool, Philippa. Thank you very much. We've got to the end of this chat. I wanted to ask you or what's the best way that people can follow you or to connect with you in that?
The best is probably on Instagram or Facebook, although I'm probably a bit more active on Instagram.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you said you're going to post the links to those underneath the video, and yeah, you can find me there. You're also welcome to WhatsApp me for any nutritional advice or needs. Yeah, I can help you as best I know how when it comes to plant-based eating.
All right, cool. So all of those links will be at the bottom of this video. And that brings us to the end of this episode. If you haven't already, please subscribe as well at the bottom, and you'll be notified of any new Let's Chats that come up. And yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers.